Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Coach Mike, and I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about selling on Amazon. Well, on this video today, we're going to go through the basics of what you need to set up when you first create your Amazon account or your Amazon Seller Central account. So, when you first create it, you check everything that we needed to do in the last video. You have it. Fuck, let me restart. Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Coach Mike. I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about selling on Amazon. And today's video is about all the basic things that you need to do when you first open up your Amazon account. So, your Amazon account is already open. It's not going to look something like this, but it's going to have two things that pop up right here. It's going to be your tax information, your deposit information. Update those. Really easy. It takes about 5 minutes. So the first thing that we need to do is explain the dashboard, what it means, how do we maneuver it, and all that type of stuff. So the first thing that you take a look at is your sales, okay? In the key metrics part, under your sales, you're gonna see basically how many things that you've sold in the last couple of days. Number two, your marketplaces that you're available to sell in, your open orders, your buyer messages, your featured offers, your total balance, inventory performance index, which is called IPI, and your global promotion sales. The second thing that we have to take a look at is setting up our workspace. How do we set up our workspace? Number one, what does it really mean? Setting up our workspace is basically having these quick actions up here ready for us to just click on them whenever we need to. Basically, all you have to do to get to this page is go up here in these three little bars, and this is where you go to navigate around in the dashboard. We go in these three little bars, and we're gonna see this menu right here. This menu is gonna have everything we need as an Amazon seller. So we can see here we have catalog, and this is all about adding products. All right, this is the main thing that you're gonna need in the catalog tab. So we're gonna bookmark that like this by clicking this button right here. Next thing, we're gonna go into our inventory. Only real thing that you need to bookmark is the manage all inventory and the dashboard part for FBA. All right, these are the main things that we go to all the time. The next thing that we go to is going to be in your orders, but let me explain the pricing. This is everything about like managing your pricing, how to get featured offers, and all that type of stuff. Okay. The next thing is your Amazon orders. This is everything about your orders, creating an order, updating order details, and all that stuff. All right. So we're just gonna bookmark this manage orders tab right here. Advertising, we don't have to bookmark anything here, but probably just bookmark the campaign manager so that way you get to it quicker. All right. Next thing is stores. So, what is a storefront? You've seen Amazon storefronts for major brands, but let me explain to you what it is. Basically, it's kind of like when you have your Shopify website set up and you have a specific link that it gives you to go to somebody's store. Without this, you're going to have a very specific link that people have to go to find your products. And sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does work, but basically it's just a list of products that's connected to your seller token, and it's not really a storefront. But if you decide to have your own legal business with your own registered name, and trademark name and all that stuff, then you could create a storefront with a brand registry. But that does take quite a while. It takes about 6 months to get registered with Amazon, with Amazon's brand registry. But that is an important thing if you want to grow in the future. If you want to grow your Amazon store in the future, that is a very crucial thing that you need to do, is get a LLC set up with a name that has a that nobody else can use, basically. All right. So your growth, this is all about your performance and all that stuff, your prime sales and all that, growth opportunities. This is something that we want to make sure that we set up in our quick actions, because this actually gives us some products that we just have to reverse search to find as well. All right, so this is a huge thing that we could take advantage of. All right, so the next thing is the reports. This is where you're going to find all your payments, your fulfillment, your advertising reports, your return reports, and your inventory reports. All this stuff is where you find like your taxes, basically anything that's about money. This is where you go to. Your performance, your account health. This is basically how your stats on your store. So if you go to your account health, it's going to take us to see basically what it looks like and all that. And some other stuff that's important, like your performance notifications and voice of customer. If you get like a bad review, or you get like somebody asking you a question, this is where it's going to pop up under voice of customer. Okay. Next thing is the apps and services. This is for third-party apps like Tactical Arbitrage, Seller Amp, Helium 10 sometimes. And this is where you connect your apps to your Amazon account. B2B, you don't really need anything right here. Your brands, again, this is how you get to the brand registry. Bookmark that for whenever you have time. Next thing is the Learn. All right, the Learn tab is very important. This is how we get to the Seller University and the forums and the news. The news also pops up under here, but this is where we get the news tab. So that's basically a breakdown of the workspace that you're going to be working within. All right, so there's other things that you need to know how to get to as an Amazon seller. Like number one, how to get to the Seller University, how I just showed you just now. So we go over here, and the Seller University has basically everything you need to know. If you have some sort of questions, just look it up in the Seller University. Just type in your question up here, or basically type in like some directing keywords like pricing error, right? All right, so we can see pricing error right here, resolving error, blah, 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 whatever it is. It has all the videos for you. Now, let's say we can't find what we need with the Seller University. Well, we could always ask a Amazon representative what we could do in a certain situation. Like, let me give you a scenario. Let's say we have an order, right? In that order, let's say we accidentally listed a pack of 2 of something, and we sent out a pack of 1, right? So instead of getting 2 products, the customer got 1 product. You could actually talk to a customer representative and see what you could do about it by going into help right here. All right. We're gonna select what issue we need to resolve. So we can see here one of these issues, or if it's not popping up, we could go ahead and click my issue is not listed. I recommend doing this if you don't want to waste your time with all of this stuff, because sometimes they send you to the forums. So I recommend just doing it like this. So let's say pricing error. Right, so we could say something like this: pricing error for ASIN, blah, 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 right? And now once we do this, we're going to select like the account related, FBA related, and all that. All right, which type of like situation is it related to? So we have account related, FBA related, product, Amazon listing, marketplace, web service. This doesn't really count towards us. This is something else. All right. And then once we do that, it's going to send you to, I'm not going to actually click on it, because if I do, it's actually going to send the ticket out. But basically, you're going to see something pop up here where it's going to ask you for either your email or your phone number. You just put one of those 2 things in, and then they follow up with you in a couple days. Or if you want, you could have them call you immediately. So how do we do that? We basically go to our performance, and then you're going to see the Call Me Now button in the top right. So we can see right here, if we need something to be done immediately, we need to go. So we can see right here in the account health settings, right here, or in the account health, if we need them to talk to us immediately, we're going to go ahead and click Call Me Now. If we need them like rapid, ASAP, they'll get to you. Now, for some of us, English isn't our first language, so we could change our language up here. And also, if our language isn't listed down here, we could also try to look for it in this search bar right here. Or if we ultimately find it, we could just go ahead and select it. Like we have French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, and these different types of languages down here. Okay. Now, the next things that we could go ahead and check up on. Now, the next things that we go ahead and check up on are the buyer messages. This is where we're able to see all the buyer messages across our orders. So to get to this page right here, all we had to do was just click on this button right here, and then it takes us to this page. This is where we reply to all our customers if they have a question for us, if they have some feedback for us. This is where we reply. So whenever you have a message from a customer, try to reply to them within 12 hours, no matter how difficult the question is to answer, or like they might say, hey, where's my package? And then you have to provide an explanation of it. But this is where you go to do that, right? But always make sure to do it under 12 hours because there's something called SLA. If the SLA is basically just try to keep that as low as possible, because we don't, that ultimately affects our basically our account health status, right? So instead of like 200, if you have like 1 over SLA, it'll bring it won't really bring it down unless you have like multiple messages that you haven't replied to in over 12 to 24 hours. Then it's going to start bringing down our account health. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our settings now. This is how we get to our settings over here. We can see a myriad of things. So number 1 is our account information. This is how we change our personal details. This is how we change whether or not we're on the individual plan or the professional plan. And we have a whole lot of other stuff that we're going to get to just in like a couple minutes. So we also have our global accounts, notification preferences, login settings, and all these settings down here. But the main thing that we have to go to a lot of the times is our account info. So in our account info, what can we do? So number 1, the main things that we could change in our account info is our deposit methods, our charge methods, and anything according to payments, right? Whether if it's us paying Amazon or Amazon paying us, this is how we change that. The business information is also a big part of it, which is basically setting up how your address is set up, your legal entity structure, your business insurance, your registered address, if you have that, and basically all the other business tools that you would need to set it up legally, basically. Not like a legal business, but if you did have a legal business, this is how you set it up. The next thing that we take a look at is something very, very important, and it's going to be our shipping and return information. Listen up to anybody that wants to do FBA. This has happened to multiple different people. If you do not set up a shipping address, I repeat, if you do not set up a shipping address, they will destroy your items if you want them returned to you and you don't set up a return address. I repeat, if you don't have a return address on file, if you try to get back your FBA items, if it's like over 30 days and they're charging you too much or something, they're going to destroy your items. if they can't find a return address. Now, they ultimately tell you this before you send the products back to you. Like, hey, you might want to update your return address before we send it out, because if we don't have a return address on file, we're just going to destroy them. That happened to ultimately, I think, 2 people in my program already. I don't want that to happen again. So make sure you guys take note of this. So the next thing that we check up on is our listing status. So we could see right here under our listing status. Oh, and I also wanted to tell you guys, if you guys wanted to change your store name, basically you just click on this, edit your store name, then save it. Also try to edit it for your other marketplaces as well. If you have multiple marketplaces, just edit the name on all of them and then save it. All right, so back to the listing status. So what does this mean? Basically, if you ever wanted to take a pause on your store and basically not have to worry about any orders, like let's say, I don't know, something bad happens and you need to you need a couple of days off from Amazon so you could handle some of your business, right? So this is how we go on a vacation, because basically Amazon is kind of like a job. So this is how we go on vacation, right? So we're going to go on vacation in the eyes of Amazon by clicking on going on vacation, scrolling down to edit, and then selecting the marketplaces we want on vacation. Okay, so we're gonna turn on vacation for these, for the United States only, and then we're gonna turn on vacation for all these other countries. Now, why do we do this? Right, this is very important for us as a new seller to set it up like this, because we do not like the shipping prices to any of these countries that isn't the United States. All right, shipping inside a state they could charge you like $3 to $5. Imagine shipping outside of a state, right, or outside of the country. Imagine how much money they're going to charge you. You're ultimately not going to make any money shipping outside of the country as a beginner seller, especially at the prices that usually at the prices that beginner sellers sell their products. They're probably not going to make any profit on anything that they sell. So this is why we changed that. So now let's say we're on the individual plan. The individual plan is the one with the reduced benefits from the professional plan that we could see down here. So how do we change that? Well, basically all we have to do, if we wanted to go to the professional plan or the individual plan, right, we could switch it up, like from paying Amazon to not paying Amazon. All we have to do, click on manage, selling on Amazon, and then we select whether or not we want to go to professional or individual for the country region, right? And also individually, but sometimes you can't change it, which is weird. So you can see here, I have all my other marketplaces except my United States, Canada, Mexico on the professional plan. All right, so now we're gonna apply the settings, or apply a change, and then we're done with that part for upgrading or downgrading. All right, we also have these other stuff right here. If you're not registered with a lot of them, just make sure you're registered with Amazon fulfilled by Amazon. That's the only thing you really need to worry about. And also the sponsored products, don't worry about this too much. I registered it, but you don't have to just yet. All right, so one big thing, well, not really a big thing, but one thing that you guys want to also have available to you whenever you're trying to, switch up some stuff or basically have somebody check your store for you, is you're going to need to know your seller token. You just click this button here, it's going to give you the code that's connected to your seller account. So the last thing that we're going to do in this video is going to be setting up a shipping template for all my professional plan users. So how do we do that? Well, first we're going to go into our settings, go to shipping settings, and remember guys, you cannot set it up if you don't have the professional plan. You won't see anything like this. So change your professional plan, change to the professional plan, and then go ahead and go on this right here. Okay. So what do we do here? We could either edit this first shipping template right here, or we could go ahead and add a new shipping template. So you can see here, this is the default shipping template I have because I set it up a while ago. But we're going to create a new shipping template up here. Click OK. It's going to take us to this page. Always make sure that you click cancel on the shipping settings automation. Click cancel. All right. Now we're going to give it a name. I'm going to keep it like that. The next thing that we have to do is the rate and model. Basically, you could change it from per item / per weight or per branded item, basically. All right. So basically, this is going to charge them, determine on the total of the order in comparison to a fixed price. If you have a product that you know that, hey, I know that I'm going to get around this range of prices for the shipping, I recommend doing the fixed price. But if you have like small one-off items that you want to set up shipping templates for, like let's say we wanted to do a shipping template for a large item like we have over here. So like let's say we have a large standard size item that we want to ship out that is going to be like let's say 12 to 16 ounces. That's around nearly a pound to basically a pound, right? So what we have to do over here in our shipping template is copy something like that. So number one, we're going to take off free economy, okay, expedited shipping, okay, and then 2-day delivery, okay. Now, if you can fulfill it with 2-day delivery or expedited shipping, more power to you. You're going to get a lot more orders if you can do it like that. And also, if you get 1-day delivery, that's also a very, very useful thing. But you can't do these things without charging the customer for it. Because if you do, you're going to have mad customers and a mad wallet. All right. So what we have to do here, let me explain what I just did here before I actually do it. So what we're going to do now under standard shipping is going to remove Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. If you're not already in here, right? If you're not already in Alaska, Puerto Rico, or Hawaii, we're going to delete these because shipping to those is going to be very, very expensive. We don't like that. Another place that is going to be expensive to ship to is going to be California, right? California, that's Carolina, not California. Hold on, where's California? California is going to be very, very expensive to ship to, so that's one thing that you have to watch out for. Anytime you get a California order or Maine or like basically the Four Corners, except kind of Florida. Okay, so now what do we do on this part? So what we could do is change the transit time. The lower the transit time, usually the faster that you get orders, especially if you have a really low 1 to 2 day transit time for your state right here. So you can see here, if it's in-state shipping, it's probably going to be really, really low, up to like 3 days. And you could change that and say, I want it to be like 1 to 2 days. This is not what you're telling the customer as a guarantee. This is basically just you saying, hey, I'm going to deliver this in 1 to 2 days, or I'm going to ship this in 1 to 2 days. And after those 2 days, if you don't get it, well, at least it's shipped in those 2 days. All right. So we could change that. And remember, transit times, whenever they're lower, they're usually going to sell faster. Okay. There's also another place that we're going to go to change, like, we're going to change something else that also helps us faster. But let's go ahead and set up a really, really fast shipping template for a really small product that's not going to be expensive to send out. So we're going to set it up like this. Let's say we're going to charge, let's say $5 in shipping for this. And we're also going to have 2-day delivery as an option for it. Okay. So with 2-day delivery, we could charge basically an arm and a leg because people are willing to pay for it, because the maximum amount of days that we have to deliver it is only 2 days. All right. So we could change that up here. We could also remove the certain regions. So like, let's say for instance, we don't actually want to ship to California or states that are way too far from us. So like in the West, we're going to remove California right here. And then we can actually save that. We can't do that in the shipping settings, right? You see here, all the U.S. states, excluding Hawaii and Alaska, have to be there for shipping, for standard shipping. We could do that in the 2-day delivery though, which is going to be good. Now we could keep this like this, or if you want, you could set up like a flat rate shipping. Like if you're gonna use the flat rate shipping envelopes that USPS has, we could set it up like this. So like $7 or something, $7.95. Oops, hold on, let me see. $7.95, something like this, right? This is actually going to be the price that we charge for 2-day delivery. We're going to charge something really, really expensive because 2-day delivery, right? Even if it's heavy, even if it's light, always charge a lot of money for 2-day delivery, because the faster that it gets to them, the better it's going to be for you. Now, again, this is just going to be an example. This isn't exactly how you're going to do it, but to save it now that we set it up, because we are done right now, we're going to scroll down and we're going to save. All right. We're not going to go into the international shipping and any of that stuff right now, but we're just going to save this real quick. Error, please address errors mentioned in the red below. Try again. Let's see what errors are there. Let me try to save this one more time. Let me refresh it. Okay, so I have to redo everything. That's okay though. Cancel. That's okay. All right. Remember, delete Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. You could set up the transit times. Now set up how much you're going to charge for these. Right, we're gonna charge, let's say, $5 per item, and then now again we're gonna save. All right, and now it's going to pop up in our shipping templates over here. This is gonna be our US 1 shipping template that we just made just now. All right, and this is how we control all of this. Okay, so now there are general shipping settings as well as shipping templates. We're gonna change something in our general shipping settings that is gonna help us sell a lot faster. All right, so how do we sell a lot faster? All right, so that's one thing that we could do, is change the handling time. All right, we could change this from 2-day, as that's going to be the default, to 1-day or same day handling time. Okay, so I only recommend this if you can actually handle it, but please, if you cannot like react to an order that you have on hand in the same day, do not select same day. It's not going to be helpful to you, because you're going to be flooded with orders and you're not going to know what to do and how to finish ordering them, or how to finish fulfilling them before you run out of time. All right, so just make sure you're aware of that. Setting it to 1 day is preferable, or if you don't have a lot of time, set it to 2 days so that you give yourself more time to do the order. All right, so now we're gonna go back real quick. All right, we can see all the information, like your default shipping address, your handling time, and your fulfillment settings up here. So like right here, let's scroll down a little bit real quick. So you could actually change the cutoff times that you have for when they can actually order your products. So you can see here, we have Monday to Friday with a 5 p.m. cutoff time. We're actually going to change that to, let's say 9 p.m., right? People do a lot of nighttime shopping around 9 p.m. We're going to change that. And we could set up our Sunday and Saturday cutoff times. But we can't really change them because these are set up by Amazon. Now we're going to go ahead and save this. All right. Oh, I also saw something just now. We're going to remove the pickup option if you can. If you can't remove the pickup option, just keep it like that, but try to remove it. But that's pretty much everything for this video. All right. So those are the key concepts that you guys have to look out for when you're starting your Amazon store. And this is everything you need to do before you even touch products, all right? Before you even learn how to add a product, what type of products are going to be useful for you to actually sell or not, and which products are actually going to be beneficial, all right? Like which products are actually going to turn a profit. So that's going to be in the next video. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good night.